We are live. It is 3:01 p.m. Central Standard Time in the United States, 9:01 GMT in the UK. It's the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe. Coming to you live today. Is March 5th, 2023. And if you're watching the stream, I don't know how because it just started literally 18 seconds ago, but if you aren't watching the stream, you should, because we have Gaylon from Gaylon's Gadgets on. We decided to spend a couple of moments with us, and I know he's extremely busy, and so we appreciate you taking time to come on the show and talk with us today. It's greatly appreciated.
For sure. Thanks for inviting me, guys. I really appreciate it. It makes me feel special.
Oh, well, that's okay. Well, and then if anybody doesn't know, last night I was on Gaylon's show, so it's kind of in the sports world, it's kind of a home-to-home, back-to-back, home-and-home series, right? So you play on a Saturday at their place, and then Sunday night you play them again back at your place. So it's kind of a home and home series.
Yeah,
they don't do that. They don't do it in football, Joe, because they only play once a week or whatever they do in the UK.
So, football was great today.
Back to back.
The football was great today, Sam. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, well, the football is great here in St. Louis because last night was St. Louis City FC's first inaugural home game. And they won.
Oh, yeah.
Charlotte FC 3-1. So now they've played 2 matches and they're 2-0.
Nice.
Yeah, St. Louis City's pretty
nice
good.
start. Nice start.
Yeah. I mean, it's MLS, so of course, the people in the UK, that's kind of like the beer league, but we get it. I mean, St. Louis FC coming out to play. They had like 24,000, 22,000 or 23,000 people show up. It was a party, man. It was a good time.
Yeah, I wish I could follow like soccer or football, as most people outside of the US call it. I just can't get with it for some reason. I just think the games are like ridiculously too long and things like that. It's probably around like the same time as like a regular like American football or basketball game, but it's just something I really can't follow well. But I think it's always cool to like see fans of soccer players. It's just a really interesting sport. Like it's like a culture within a sport. It's really interesting for sure.
And I think what helps is, at least with me, was it's kind of hard to watch a sport where you don't really know like the strategy and the context and how they play. Yeah. Like if you knew the sport at a strategic level, you can kind of like, I know I've had people that were visiting the United States from the UK actually watching their first Cardinal game, and they thought this is the most boring thing on earth. I mean, it's like 3.5 hours. You're sitting here watching. It's like cricket, but nobody's moving. Like there's literally guys standing out in the outfield. They'll stand out there for an inning or two and not even touch the ball. It's like they're just for 35 minutes in the outfield, and and you're like, this is dumb, right? They're used to football matches, so. Yeah. But again, if you knew the context, like why they're hitting and switching and all those other kind of things, right? If you knew bunting and you knew like the strategy of baseball and you kind of knew it, it would help at least. I will tell you that hockey is the best to watch live. If you're in a venue,
I'd love to watch hockey,
or just like even AHL or QMJHL.
I feel like that's where like me and Sam have like kind of an advantage because St. Louis, because the Rams left, the football team left. I feel like we have a very good hockey and baseball culture. Like people are diehard fans about the Cardinals and Blues. Like it's like absolutely insane how like good the culture is for those sports. Like I absolutely I don't like watching baseball games like on TV or anything, but Cardinals games are like some of the most fun experiences that like I've ever had. Like it's always a very positive experience going to see the Cardinals play. I'm yet to go to a Blues game. I want to try that out.
Oh yeah, if you go to any NHL game, even not even just the Blues, you go to a Blackhawks game or a Dallas Stars game. Ice hockey live is awesome. I think a lot of people in the UK would really watch hockey a lot because if you're
I think we'd like it.
Yeah, I mean, and in the UK they like American football too. There's a pretty
very popular
fan base in the UK with when they have the NFL goes to Europe or whatever, and they play at Wembley or they played. I don't think they played at Wembley the last time. I thought they played somewhere else. The last series they had, they sell out, and
always sells out. Yeah,
was your buddy or somebody has like season tickets to those when they come in? He actually goes.
Yeah, he goes every time. Yeah. He loves it.
Yeah, that I think people in the UK are really kind of starting to feel it, and then definitely in St. Louis. St. Louis, it's funny is a really big soccer city. I mean, people don't really realize football and soccer. It's huge. That's why it never made sense to me why we didn't have an MLS team. It took this long to get a team. But in the United States, St. Louis is kind of known as a football hub. I mean, there are a lot of good a lot of passionate fans. So
I truly like the more I think about it, I truly feel like St. Louis, just because like we're literally like smack dab in the middle of the country. We're very much like the melting pot that people like call the US. I think we're definitely like the heart of that, in my opinion. Just so many different cultures and everything here.
Yeah, Delavine's watching on his M8. I know he was talking about it last night, that monitor. You better be careful. You know,
it's a smart monitor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a smart monitor. He's actually going to I think he said he's going to get a second one. And then, of course, we got Jimmy's in the chat, and we got Dan Grounded Tech and Scoop's in the chat. Scoop, yo. So, yeah, it's you know, and when the Rams left, or when the Cardinals, the St. Louis football Cardinals were here earlier, and then they moved to Phoenix, and then we got the Rams for about 20 years. People showed up for those. I mean, they and of course, then they had a bad team and had a bad coach, so people stopped, you know, showing up because they were terrible. The Rams weren't very good and had a terrible coach. But and then St. Louis is kind of, unfortunately, is maligned as a baseball city only. Any other sport really wouldn't. And that's just not true, especially with Blues hockey. They're not having a good year this year. They're kind of struggling and they're rebuilding, so they're kind of having a rough season. But I mean, Blues fans are still showing up and, you know, going to games and stuff like that. So St. Louis is an interesting city. I've lived here my whole life. I've never.
I need to visit one day.
Oh, it's music wise, St. Louis is pretty good. It's got, you know, a really good blues culture, a lot of good music, a lot of local music.
And I feel like nothing really originates in St. Louis. Like we just get some of everything, like I was saying earlier.
And then and the food wise, I mean, it's not like Chicago. It's not Chicago and New York good as far as like having a lot of variety, but as far as Italian food and other kinds of things, St. Louis is a pretty decent city as far as food goes. I mean, it's not very big. It's a small, I would call it a smaller city, but it's definitely got some crime issues and downtown. And downtown is weird because it's really a business district. Like other cities I've been to, like Boston, if you go downtown on a weekend, there's people everywhere. There's stuff going on. There's people walking around, right? There's always events. In St. Louis, it's not like that. Once Saturday and Sunday, unless there's a convention, you know, for something, St. Louis downtown is pretty much, unless it's nightlife on one street.
I was just about to say that, unless it's nightlife.
If it's nightlife on Washington Avenue, downtown St. Louis is a ghost town. There's nothing much going on downtown, unless there's a sporting event. Right?
I think that like directly correlates with the crime and everything that you're talking about for sure.
And it's
just because it's not a lot of traffic, it's always something else going on there.
So and then so that brings the question is, so I know you don't live in St. Louis, you live in the Metro East, and I was trying to explain to Joe what the Metro East is. So for people who aren't, it's like, imagine like St. Louis is a suburb, right? But St. Louis is on the eastern part of the state. So what I would say is, if you live in the Missouri side of you have St. Louis County and then the suburbs, right? The suburbs of Illinois are called the Metro East. They just call it that. So whenever you tell I live on the east side of the Metro East, you know, they live in like Belleville, Swansea, Fairview,
O'Fallon,
O'Fallon, Cahokia. You live on because basically if you cut St. Louis in half, if you basically did a circle, you would get all those little towns about in a 30-kilometer radius of downtown St. Louis. So anybody who lives on the east side of the river, right, of Mississippi, they call it Metro East. If you live in St. Louis, you live in St. Louis County. They say I live in St. Louis.
Exactly. And if you want to confuse people more, East St. Louis is in Illinois. Right. It's completely separate from St. Louis. So,
And the funny thing is, Missouri actually has two of those, right? So on the other side of the state, you have Kansas City. Kansas City is actually in both states. There's Kansas City, Kansas, and then Kansas City, Missouri. It's literally cut right down the center. So when people say you live in Kansas City, you don't know what state it is. You assume it's Kansas, like the Chiefs play in Kansas City, Missouri, but half the city is in Kansas.
I'm not gonna lie, you guys have confused me way more.
It's weird. Missouri is kind of weird about that kind of thing.
So basically, I'm on the other side of the river than Sam is.
Okay.
So
is that where part of the
that's the easy way to explain it.
Right.
You know, you said about crime. Is it east and west against each other, or
no, East St. Louis.
No, there's no like
rough too. So
nothing like that.
It's not like West Side Story or anything like that.
No.
Crazy.
People like knives and stab. Yeah, no, it's not like. But yeah, so it's really weird. So unfortunately, on both sides of Missouri, on the Kansas City side on the west, and then the east side of Missouri, the cities are kind of weird. And then also, fun fact, St. Louis is actually there's only two cities in the United States that don't exist in a county. So like every city, like Chicago's in Cook County and Kansas City's, and I think it's in Lee County or whatever. I'm not sure what.
Okay.
But St. Louis City is called an independent city. It doesn't belong in a county. So St. Louis City is by itself. It's not inside of St. Louis County. It's St. Louis City and St. Louis County. And Baltimore is the only other city like that. They're not. Baltimore's not in Maryland. It's not in a county. It's in it's by itself. It's just weird. Again, St. Louis is weird for a lot of reasons. That's just one of them. So
Sam can list them all.
I've been here 47 years. I can tell you, I'm definitely a
proud man.
Proud,
yeah, as you should be, mate. As you should be.
Proud St. Louis, and that doesn't mean I'm like completely ridiculous and stupid about like my city, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I realize that there are some issues with it. And Johan's in the chat.
Lots of issues. Yeah.
Hey, Johan's good. And Barry Johnson, the engineer, he's in there as well. So yeah, so it's nice to finally have somebody when I talk like last night on the show, I was wearing an Emo's Pizza.
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed.
And he's like, "Oh, emos, huh?" And I guess the question is, yes or no? Emos, yes or no?
It's overrated. Like,
yep,
it's good. Like when it's good, but I definitely think it's overrated. Like, I'll eat it, but it's not something like I ever crave. Like if I'm like really hungry and I eat it, it'll be okay. But
I feel that way about Nando's.
Yeah. And that's the way it is in Missouri. So people who don't live in St. Louis, it's kind of a mixed bag. A lot of people hate it.
Most people hate it, but I feel like if you meet the right person, there's so much nightlife and different activities to do in St. Louis. If you meet the right person, they'll definitely be able to take you to the right places, but otherwise it's boring. Like I feel like 90% of people probably go to the Arch and are like, what is this? A museum?
Or you can go up to the top and look at the city. Look at the Illinois side. It's like, oh, it's pretty desolate. You look at the Missouri side, and the city goes for about maybe a dozen, 15 blocks, and then that's it. It's like, wow, it's not like going up to the Sears Tower in Chicago and seeing just city, right? If you've been up to it's now called the Willis Tower, but if you go in Chicago and you go to the 103rd Observatory floor and you look around, it's just Chicago everywhere. Like everywhere you look, it's just city, 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 right? And you go to St. Louis, you're like, oh, you look over, like, huh. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I like.
It's not London. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's why I like associate my location with St. Louis, like for the most part, because when I say I'm from Illinois, most people assume I'm like in Chicago.
Right.
But in reality, I'm
Illinois,
like,
right?
I'm like 5 hours away from Chicago and like 15 minutes away from St. Louis. So
right. Yeah, and I remember Pangea back in the day when all the continents were put together. Yes, I was around for that. I would just walk around the continents. That's pretty much what I did all the time. Of course, Aditya. You knew that's coming. I mean, it's like, he's in the chat. When he comes in, he brings the funk, and he likes to make fun of me. It's okay. He just tells me I'm old. That's fine. So, Gaylon, explain to me how, funny thing is, if you live in the St. Louis area, it's like, where'd you go to high school, right? That's the fun question, right? That's what everybody in St. Louis asks. Where do you go to high school?
I went to Belleville East.
Okay.
I was still on this side of the river. In reality, I've only actually lived in Missouri probably 7 years out of my life. I am 28, so most of the time that I spent in Illinois for the most part. So went to Belleville East. I am a Lancer.
There you go. Good man.
Went to school with I think the all-time leading scorer at Illinois now. So yeah.
Belleville. And see, and Aditya pays attention. Yes. He may not like emos, but I'm pretty sure most people like toasted, but maybe not. Maybe not.
That is also very overrated. Very.
Toasted
ravioli is extremely overrated.
Oh, it's fighting.
That's even more overrated than.
And that's the beauty of it. You have a lot of people who live in St. Louis, in the St. Louis area, and some people are really like me. I'm a total emos fan. Like, it's not the best pizza ever. Let's just put it that way.
So
it's not better than New York style or Chicago style or anything else.
Yeah, right.
I do enjoy it. It's nice. The Chicago style, it's like I can only eat one slice, and I'm like, okay, dude, I get Giordano's or Lou Malnati's,
right?
And I can't eat the damn thing. I mean, literally, if we sat at a table and they gave us a full size Lou Malnati's, we could not eat it all. It's stupid. It's like crust and stuffed cheese, and it's like it's more than a meal. It's gut busting.
That's proper deep pan, isn't it?
Oh, it's beyond deep dish. There's deep dish, and then there's Chicago style, which goes way above that. And then you got New York style, which you got to fold it in half because the crust is so doughy and flappy. You got to kind of fold it just because if you try to pick it up, the whole thing will just flap down. Then there's Detroit style. I didn't even know that was a thing. I've been to Detroit. I don't remember their pizza, but okay.
They got their own stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
never knew that.
apparently so. I
they
don't
do.
know. I don't. But
I
yeah,
think
Okay.
New York, Detroit, and Chicago are probably like the most
well known.
most well known.
Yeah, I guarantee you could probably get those styles in the UK. I can guarantee you will not get a St. Louis style pizza in the UK for two reasons.
Oh, for sure.
For two reasons. One, it's cracker thin crust. It's
So it's
literally
more like traditional Italian style.
well, I don't know. I think Italian style pizza is like a regular, good old fashioned, like fire roasted. You put some sauce on it. It's like a regular piece of dough, and then you put some.
Yeah, there's like nothing gourmet about St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
It's literally just,
and then also St. Louis style pizza uses a cheese called Provel, which technically isn't even cheese by the USDA. It's a
really?
mozzarella. I think it's mozzarella, cheddar, and provolone. I think
I didn't know.
But the thing is, it has a real low melting point, so it kind of it's good on pizza. And again, it's it's one of those things where either you really like mozzarella or you like Provel, or it's puke inducing. Like there's people like, oh, it's okay. Either people really like Provel like I do, or like Gaylon's like, yeah, I can pass. So yeah, it's just it's one of those kind of pizzas where you can only really get it in St. Louis, and then yeah.
So one hill I will die on. St. Louis has the best Chinese food in the world. It's not debatable.
Oh, okay, I like Chinese.
Yeah. It's just different. Like it's nothing like St. Louis style.
St. Louis is fire because they have a thing called they have egg foo young, which I always like, but then they have a thing called the St. Paul sandwich.
St. Paul.
If you look those up, I've never seen it anywher else, but I mean, I'm telling you, it's fantastic. And I'll tell you, it's just like diners, right? The kind of crappier they are, the better the food is. And I've been in some places that are like, and they remember in St. Louis, and I don't know if this is in other cities, maybe they are, and somebody can back me up in the chat. They call it chop suey place. Like that's what we call it.
Yeah.
Chop suey, yeah.
Yeah, it's all called chop suey place. So like if you go into really urban areas, they just call it chop suey or the Chinaman. That's what they call
Chinaman,
it.
Yeah.
Going to the Chinaman, yeah. Dude, in St. Louis, I agree. Gaylon, the food, Chinese food in St. Louis just hits different. I don't know what it is about it. And I've been in other places.
It's the flavor, it's just like, it's really hard to understand. Like even the look of it, like Chinese has really dark rice because I think there's just like more seasoning and flavor and soy sauce and all that. While other like areas, it's like yellow, like legit yellow, like the rice isn't brown at all. Like it's so weird.
If I go to like a Panda Express, they have like what I would consider that yellow fried rice. In St. Louis, it's that dark brown kind of.
I want some rice now, man.
It's just so good. And then you can get whatever you want. Yeah. So yeah.
Making me hungry. And I've had dinner.
Get Chinese food. It's the best Chinese food in the middle of the country. Yeah, exactly. I know it doesn't make St. Louis is one of those cities that doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you kind of just analyze it. It's just like it doesn't. It's an anomaly.
Very weird theory.
And I agree. If you got somebody who's a native who can really take you to some really good places, like if you're into music or you're into live this or food or like the zoo, the St. Louis Zoo is the only zoo that I know of that's free.
We have the best free zoo. There are other zoos that are free, but we have by far the best free.
Yeah, St. Louis Zoo is like top 10 or top like 5 or 10 in the country. Also, everything else is free. Like the art museum is free to go to.
I love free stuff
because the city of St. Louis subsidizes the art museum and the science center and the zoo.
That's good.
So if you go to Forest Park, that's like kind of like think of like Central Park in New York. It's the Forest Park in St. Louis. Everything's free. You can just go in there and walk in. Now there are exhibits where you can pay to go to us, but you can just get it with your daughter and I.
99% of Forest Park is free. That would actually be like something that's very touristy, but that's something I would recommend for like a tourist.
Forest Park for sure.
Like I'm the type of person that doesn't like touristy things. I don't like to do what everyone else is doing when they're traveling. But I would definitely recommend Forest Park to someone visiting St. Louis.
Plus, also the barbecue game in St. Louis is also on point.
That I haven't gotten into yet. Like I love barbecue. I've probably like gotten into barbecue like over the past 3 years or so, but I haven't gotten into like local barbecue yet. I'm like, so what are your suggestions for?
Well, Sugar Fire is a good start because it's probably.
I hate Sugar Fire.
I know. But then if you go to like other places, there are some little local places. Like there's one that's down and funny in DeSoto. It's down the street. It's called I forgot the name of it, but just go look for local places. But as far as like brisket and pulled pork, oh dude, it's just so good. Yeah. And then Memphis is good for barbecue. Kansas City, I think, is overrated. There are good places, you know. Pappy's. That's another one.
I've heard a lot about Pappy's.
Yeah, Pappy's is good. Their ribs are ridiculous. I mean, their ribs you could literally just take it and just rip it right out.
Have you been to Salt Smoke?
Salt and Smoke. Salt and Smoke's expensive though. It's kind of like upscale. But yeah, Pappy's is good. But yeah, I mean, it's again, St. Louis is one of those places where if you have a local showing you around, you can have a real good time. If not, you're gonna get kind of like what's the big deal about this place? But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff to do. But it's it's like Microsoft, right? I realize I'm a homer for it. I realize I'm a lifelong St. Louisan. But the funny thing is, I don't have the accent. Like I don't say farty. The St. Louisans are big on like fire. Like if you listen to John Hamm, John Hamm's from St. Louis, and so he does these things where he talks about like farty far the cards. Yeah, it's like. I don't talk like that. I never spoke like that. Like, it's like farty fars.
St. Louis is a very weird place. Just like I said earlier, it's just so many different types of culture and different types of people all in one space.
I love that though. I love that.
Yeah. It's the biggest. And here's the thing. When I've visited other places, I've been to like Dallas and Scottsdale and Boston and Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. I've been to lots of cities. They're all kind of the same. They have their own little kind of quirks and stuff. But St. Louis is kind of like, it's a city, but it's not. You get like
exactly. It's the smallest major city that you'll see.
Yeah, it's not like you go to Chicago and you're just like overwhelmed with everything. Like you can hit a lot of. You could be here on a weekend and hit pretty good stuff in St. Louis and be okay. If you go to any other like Boston or Philadelphia or New York, there's no way in a weekend you could hit near what you can hit in St. Louis. It's just St. Louis is like one of those things where it's not so spread out. And but if you're into like live music or the blues or country music or whatever, St. Louis is one of the I think rivals a lot of cities as far as what they bring culturally. It's just the thing that sucks about it is it's a Midwest town, so people don't think about it. And also we have it's a real problem with crime and just really the downtown area not having enough vitalization to it. People just don't live downtown.
Yeah, I think it's just so little traffic that criminals just take advantage of it.
Yeah, and St. Louis really gets a bad rap. It's not the safest place in the world, but I mean, they act like you're gonna land. You get to Lambert, you go downtown, you're gonna like evaporate. Like somebody's just gonna like just walk down the street, they just kill 15 people down the street, right?
It's not like that.
Like a missile comes in, just smokes a whole crowd. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a place that I would walk in. I will tell you, when I walked around downtown Boston at night, I had no problem. When I walk around downtown St. Louis at night, I'm always paying attention to what's going on. I mean, I'm not scared. Another thing, head on a swivel.
Another thing with St. Louis, it doesn't look as modern as other big cities. Right. So that's another reason why it just gives like scary vibes at night.
That's a good thing as well, I think. I like older buildings and
it's so like
a mix of architecture.
But it's not like old. It's like 90s, 80s type.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I agree, Johan. Chinese food is fire. It is.
It is.
Yeah, we need to like just all have Chinese one day. We'll see Joe's like yellow fried rice and me and Sam over here with our brown fried rice.
With our good fried rice and our St. Paul sandwiches kind of going, if you know, you know, right? Is that how it goes?
Right.
So I guess the question also too is now that we went to high school, because we had to get that out of the way as a St. Louis native, or St. Louis area native. So what got you into tech? Like where did it start in college? Did you just like tech? Like how did the whole Gaylon's gadgets kind of start, and how did your journey, your I guess origin story?
So I feel like most millennials were exposed to a lot of technology in school and everything in general. So I did go to school for IT. I originally wanted to get into social work or teaching or something like that, like stereotypical jobs where you'll always have a job for the most part. But I ended up not liking social work at all. So I ended up going to get a quick associate's degree in IT, and opportunities just threw themselves my way. So I've been in just the tech support industry for like 8 years now. But yeah, and with that, I just think I fell in love with consumer technology, specifically, just going through school and all of that. Yeah, definitely started on YouTube though, like just like wanting to buy like my own technology, not wanting the technology that my siblings had, like all on the family plan and all of that. I would be the type of person that went and researched my own technology and start buying my own technology. And I think just like watching Flossie Carter, MKBHD, that's where my love for tech like really started. Yeah,
like I said, we're big fans of Floss for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and And the thing with MKBHD, it gets a little bit more complicated, right? Because I think he's
everyone's not a fan of him. Yeah.
Well, and I think I agree. And I think he's kind of passed into more infotainment now. He does reviews, but I don't think a lot of people go to his channel to really look at like, well, does Marquez sign off on it? Then I'm going to buy it. I think they go to the channel.
Yeah, that's true.
Production value, and they'll go to like his channel, and then Floss, and then maybe like Mr. Who's the Boss, or maybe
that is very true. But
they'll kind of shop around. But yeah,
my thing with the MKBHD hate is that I really truly feel that he gives an honest review. Like a lot of people say he doesn't review technology. He just has all the fancy B-roll in the world and will not give an opinion. He consistently gives like opinions on the tech that he picks up or is sent or whatever.
Yeah, so, I've never thought he played it cheap or he doesn't do his like I can't hate on him for his effort and his putting the time in and building a brand and building a business. I think I think people who are basically knocking his work ethic and his diligence, I think are kind of just taking shots at him for no good reason.
Yeah. He's definitely like one of the most hated reviewers. Like he's up there with Lou from Unbox Therapy. Like people just literally hate them for no reason. Lou, I understand like the argument a little more because he's definitely not a review channel anymore. He's at whatever place he is where he's able to just pick up tech, talk about it, get a check. But I definitely feel like MKBHD still is a very decent reviewer, even if you don't agree with his opinions on things. I do feel like some of his opinions are invalid because he doesn't really branch out like other reviewers do, but I still like MKBHD a lot.
Yeah, I'm subbed to his channel, but I don't watch. Like apparently there was a video yesterday that Jimmy says he's gonna have in the chat. Jimmy got to break that down because I did not see the video because I don't have anybody like when they post a video like it doesn't say, hey, this dude posted a video. Actually, no, I take that back. Techspert.
Yeah, he's great.
When Chris Barraclaw posts a video, I get a notification for it. And Juan. And there's a couple of others, right? But really,
so Techspert. Okay, yeah, I was thinking Techspert like TEX, but Techspert.
No, yeah, Chris Barraclaw.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Oh, I love Chris. Chris has been on our old show. We're trying to get him on, but MWC kind of gotten that, so we're having him on. But yeah, Chris is one of my favorite. Like
what I like about Chris is no matter how big he's getting with subs, he hasn't changed. He ain't changing his
not at all. Yeah,
that's a guy that you go down to the pub, have a pint, and you just shoot the breeze with. Like he's like it's legitimate, and he's willing to let it fly. And he's a little crude, which is fine, but he hasn't changed it. As I think he's approaching on 1 million. I think he's at 700 or 720, and he still operates his channel the same way. And then
Mr. Wankstock,
dude, he had like the last video for his S23. It's like 2 hours. That's a
he did say Snyder Cut.
And he's so good, people actually watch it.
Oh, I will tell you right now. I saw it. That is something I will absolutely sit down and I will watch all the way through like a movie. I am the biggest fan of Flossie Carter. It's not even funny, and I'm not even gonna I'm in no cap. He is like one of my favorite creators on YouTube.
Oh, I love him, but we could list all of the catchphrases that are 100% in that video right now quite easily, couldn't we?
Well, and that's what's the beauty.
Yeah, that's part of the endearment to it. Yeah,
I think Floss approaches his tech like he's like, I'm going to tell you if this is whack, if this phone is garbage, I'm going to tell you.
It's definitely consumer-based content for sure.
Absolutely. So,
absolutely.
And I just like and the catchphrases and his approach and shoes and the whole thing. And it's funny because it's one of those when he's doing all his lines, you follow those lines like he's gonna do it. Calm down, right? It's coming, so you just do it with him, right? It's what Flossie Carter is like going to mass. You know what's gonna be said. You follow along every week. It's the same thing, right? You just kind of the catchphrases are coming. Say it with me. It's an engagement tactic. It's so smart. It's really good. And he's just a regular kind of guy. So I don't care.
But it's all natural though. It's not I don't think it's fake at all in any way. It's all natural. It's all him. It's his actual personality.
Because he doesn't have to. He can be legit, and that's how he's gonna go, because honestly, he's got his own hustle, he's got his own vibe, he's got his own flex, he's got his own flow, he does his own thing. If that channel stopped tomorrow, Floss would still be Floss. He would still drive his BMW, still go around town. He would still be, the baller he is, he would just do. The price is too goddamn high. Yeah, that's another thing. Major go. Right. And it's funny is when you're watching his videos, you do that too. And don't lie. Don't act like you don't. You know you say it when he
I love the scumbag zoom.
Yeah, scumbag zoom.
That's like
scumbag activity.
That's like the most underrated type of engagement that you could do.
Yeah.
Like catchphrases.
It's so and that's why he just works for me. So
going back to MKBHD, I think anyone who hits the top, people start firing, don't they? That's what happens.
For sure.
It's like my team's Arsenal. We're top of the league at the moment. People are hating on us. Everyone hates on the top. Always happens.
Yeah, especially with things like what do you call it? What's the word? Can't think of the word. Influencers.
Influencers, yeah.
Especially when influencers hit that type of level, people know that they're getting sent these products for free, and they automatically assume that there's a bias just because they're getting sent these products.
Yeah,
it's jealousy, isn't it? It's jealousy.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Well, and I think too, you have to understand, it's like because they get it for free, your natural thought process is they have to be biased because they're just doing it for.
Right.
But I don't think that's necessarily true. Now, to be the devil's advocate on that, there are people who do that they will get flown out there and they will kind of drink the Kool-Aid and kind of do that thing and kind of play the game and kind of not be as and at the end of the day, it's like I think if you don't bring an authentic self to your channel or something authentic and also something that's unique to your channel.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be hard to grow. And I would make the argument that I think if anybody, I don't think we're ever going to see anybody get to the 5 and 8 and 10 and 12 million sub count as a tech YouTuber. I think that's over. I think we're done with that. If you can get to 100,000, that's huge. Like our buddy Adam, Adam.
Tech Odyssey.
Tech Odyssey. I think he's about as successful as you can get. And you look at his production value, it's very straightforward. Right?
Yeah, he just turns the camera on and starts talking about the product.
And it works. He's approachable. He's an attorney, which is funny because usually most attorneys, people by trade, attorneys are kind of off-putting to people, but he's very engaging. He's very straightforward and he plays it straight. Everyone, we've had him on the show and he's fantastic to talk to. And like I said, I think if you're looking for that Lou, like Scoot, if you're looking for those, Mr. Who's the Boss kind of levels, I don't think that's achievable anymore. I think that door is a little closed.
People can try, but like you said, it's going to be very hard to achieve that type of success coming from a tech creator.
Yeah,
it's hard work as well. Very hard work.
Yeah, very hard work.
Well, and then the problem is, in order to put that work in, I think burnout is a real thing. I think at some point, I've seen people who really go like 18 months of like putting videos out, and you can just see them. It's just like. They flame out because it's hard to maintain that workflow. That's a lot, especially
for sure.
Especially if you're just trying to start out and you still have like children and a life and a job and you're trying to balance all that. That's a lot of hard work-life balance, especially for something that may not happen. So I guess so. Now I know you've had the channel, Gaylon. So now you started this podcast. Can you tell me more about like your foray into something we're okay with the podcasting? We're glad to see more creators. I'm excited to see that you started.
So me and my very good friend Delvon Digital, one of the coolest humans you'll ever meet in your life.
Fan of the show, friend of the show. We love that man.
One of the most talented creators you'll ever meet for sure. Just a really nice person overall. That's the type of person I wanted to go into this with. At first, I was just doing live streams just to get more engagement on my channel, get more people to see just more about me. And I found out quickly that I could not talk to myself for an hour. I just absolutely cannot. So
not easy to be fair.
I started doing like group live streams. I have like a lot of really close friends in the tech community. We would go live. It'll be me, Ike's Tech Talk. I think Barry was able to make it. Just different creators like that. We were doing like group live streams, and then me and Delvon actually had the idea to just start a podcast with ourselves, just the two of us, and try to have a guest every week and just talk about the past week in tech, the tech that we're experiencing, and we actually love it. It's a lot of fun. and we think it has a lot of potential. We actually streamed to the channel solely for the first time last night. At first, we were just streaming to our personal channels as well as the Trusted Tech podcast channel. But yeah, last night we tried it with just that channel. It had some tech issues, so we started later, a little less engagement than we wanted. But I think it has a lot of potential. Yeah, we always have some really dope conversation. Super chill, not a lot of bias guests. So yeah.
Gaylon, where else can they find your podcast? Is there anywhere else? Any other platform?
Yeah, it's just Trust the Tech Podcast on YouTube or Twitter.
All right, cool.
We do have our podcast posted via Anchor as well, so it'll be on Apple Music and Spotify, all the good stuff.
Yeah, we make sure when we put the notes for the show, I'll make sure I put links to the show. Like I was on there last night, and it was a blast. I had a lot of good.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of fun with you.
It was a great show, and like I said, I don't always have the best takes because I'm not super controversial when it comes to stuff. I mean, I try to play it straight because I'm not going to take a take that I think is going to make clicks or drive, engagement. I think I believe that iOS is pretty solid. I think the software is the problem. I think their hardware is good to go. I think their software is where Apple really needs to focus getting that polished up because there are some issues. I mean, we ran into, especially somebody like Patar, who's really an iOS Apple guy. And for him to get on the S23,
he's loving it.
Mainly because he's had real frustrations with iOS. iOS 15 has really, really bothered him. That's pretty amazing for some of these people. I think Apple, they're looking at, we were talking about the iPhone 15 and they were going to go to capacitive. And the first thing I said is, the HTC U12. Yeah, another phone's already done the capacitive buttons, and it didn't go well. I had a U12. It was rough. Now, I know Apple...
Huawei done it as well, didn't they?
I don't know if they did capacitive buttons. They probably did.
Yeah, I'm sure with
Huawei did
the Mate 30. The Mate 30, I think.
I will tell you, though, that I think at least Apple, I give them this much credit. They're probably going to have it a lot more polished than what HTC did because HTC was kind of in their death throes at that point, and that was their last real commercial flagship.
Yeah,
but we'll see. But I mean, I can tell you right now, I've been down a capacitive button road. It's touchy. You got to really that implementation's hard to pull off.
Like you said, just because it's Apple, that's something that they had to hardcore test like super hard because they don't do a lot of innovative things, and something that big, just going from one generation to the next, they definitely probably have it on lock. I don't see them having like the finicky type issues that other phones had.
No.
So it was I was on the show last night. It was fantastic, and it was a real honor and a privilege to be on the show, and one of the first ones actually that was posted to their channel directly. So that was good. So that way, if it gets popular, just remember I was one of.
We'll hit you up again, Sam, for sure.
Absolutely, it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. I do enjoy just not only talking tech, but also talking with really good, solid like Gaylon and Gaylon. They're just really good, honest, solid people who really
real great guys. Yeah,
right, and you can tell they're not coming from an area of bias, right? They're just this is how
exactly. I think that's what we're trying to accomplish. We're just techies. We like what works for us, and we like seeing what else is going on in the world, and that's just how we roll.
If you follow you guys on Twitter, you'll see that as well. That shines through.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm down to try anything. I'm probably gonna have my next iOS device this year for like the first time since the iPhone 6.
Wow.
So I'm really wanting to try the iPhone 15. I have an iPad. I've tried Mac OS in the past. I'm not biased at all. It's just what works for me. I stick with.
Yeah,
so I can't lie. I'm a bit biased.
Yeah, and I will say I really do hope that Apple at some point comes out with an iOS device as a foldable or something like that. I'd really like to see them. And I think they will. It's just going to take a while. But I mean, that may be my first stab at getting back in the iOS game. Is if they can come with a foldable iPhone of some kind, I would take a swing at it, especially if it's a dual screen, like a fold basically kind of device.
I have been telling people what would get me to go back to Apple would be like a worthy SE type device, like super cheap, but like still current design.
Oh yeah.
Current processor. That's what would put me back on the Apple train. Because I kind of my secondary device. So
yeah, I kind of wanted a 13 mini Kind of wanted to play with one of them.
Yeah, that's a good device. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, and I guess then you got stuff with like Dynamic Island that's a little, it's been implemented, but it's a little baked, and that's fairly normal for devices when they come up with something new. But yeah, he says that Uber uses Dynamic Island, but not Uber Eats. Same company, right? You thought they would kind of have it.
Right.
What? Yeah, it's a little. And Aditya is trying mac and cheese. I'm pretty much sure that's pretty much between ramen and mac and cheese, and then whatever little local fare they got at the little food truck. That's pretty much what he survived on in medical school.
Yeah, that's my kind of mac.
Right.
Yeah.
There you have it. Yeah, I don't want to try to eat that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
baked mac and cheese. That's my go-to.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm
big
talking
soul
about.
food guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's another thing St. Louis is good for. There's a lot of good soul food places.
Lots of good soul food places. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then so Jimmy's asked a question. What are your thoughts on the Magic 5 Pro?
Ooh, I don't think I've seen it that much. I haven't been like up to date with the foreign devices.
Yeah.
I like the look of the green version.
Yeah, can someone pull up some pictures or something? I'd like to.
Let me see if I can pull some. Yeah, the Honor 5. So I tell you, I'm kind of have a soft spot for Huawei. So
I did too. At
the
one
Honor
point,
devices would be the spiritual successor, right? To the
yeah, because they're not together anymore at all.
Right, let's see if I can try to.
Not one bit.
Honor
I'm
Magic
certain they are.
Let's see what we got here. Let me see. We don't do this very often in the show, so we're gonna give it a try.
You're gonna share screen. You're gonna share screen. Go on, Sam.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be crazy, right?
It does look cool.
Render. Microsoft Edge Tap. There we go. There we go. So let's see what we got here.
Oh, we're still there as well. I like it.
Yeah. So
that camera bump is too big. Whoa.
It's massive. Yeah, it is massive.
There you go. It's a big phone.
Yeah.
If you get two of them, you can start mixing like decks.
Yeah, exactly. So this is Tech Radar, and I'm trying to see if they have. Well, there's the back of it. I was trying to find out. Yeah, I mean, I'm. That's a pretty pronounced. That's got. You know what that is? That's a Lumia 1020 camera.
Yeah,
it's another one. It's another 1-inch sensor job, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
On the main lens, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
I'm not too familiar with all the foreign devices right now, just because of the rate at which they happen. Like I see things on Twitter and like just basically scroll past it because, I feel like they're all in the same family to some extent.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with. I'm okay with that. Like,
the green's nice though, isn't it? Very nice.
I like the green. It's pretty good. Like I said, I'm not, again, like I said, I wasn't really 100% sure how they go, but yeah, the Honor Magic 5, I mean the bump, it's very, to me, that's really Lumia 1020, and I'm okay with that. Although that device is a lot bigger than the 1020 was. The 1020 was close the incognito tabs. I don't got nothing going on. I don't do that stuff. I don't get stuff on my phone, dude.
Do you guys think we've like met like peak phone size? Do you think we'll ever get to like 7.5?
Sure. I think so. I mean, I think so. I mean, especially as the phablet foldable lines start to blur a little bit more. I think somebody's going to give it a shot. Now, will I think it's commercially successful? I don't think so. If anything, I've seen, it seems like to me, the consumer push is starting to kind of like, I think we're way at the top of the larger phones. I think we're starting to kind of, I really wish, like Samsung, I really wish they would have done something where they had the S23, take the Ultra and make the same exact phone, but just had a smaller form factor. I realize batteries got to be smaller. I really wish
they would too. I do
Instead
not
of cutting features. Like, I mean, give it a real big one, right, with everything, and then as much as you can jam into the S23, but just have a smaller 6.1 form factor. I think
the only company to do that recently is Asus.
Zenfone. Yeah, I was going to say.
They're the only company to do that recently. I really wish companies would do that as well. I don't think it's fair to consumers to have 3 different sets of cameras on 3 different phones that came out at the same time. Like it's kind of ridiculous at this point. I have seen the Xiaomi 13 phones. I'm a big fan of Xiaomi. I haven't had one in a while, but I'm a huge fan of Xiaomi. The cameras look great as always, and I like Xiaomi's UI. Yeah, that's something I would pick up if it wasn't so hard to get.
I've never tried one. I'd like to try one.
Yeah, I tried the Poco phone back when they were popular. I had like the Poco X3. Yeah, and I think I had one more. I can't remember it, but yeah, I love the Xiaomi devices. I think they do a great job, and their software is really good and fluid. I love Xiaomi devices just for that.
Yeah, I had my Mi 11. I took that with the Eco Leather back. I had that on my trip to Puerto
Oh
Rico,
yeah,
and it
I
was
remember
awesome.
that.
It was a great device. I really wish I would have kept it. But yeah, and then like I said, that camera bump is so big. Yeah, you're gonna have a big in your pants pocket. You're just gonna have a big circle, right? So it's just gonna squid. It's gonna make your jean pocket just have this big dumb circle in the back of it. It's almost like the wallet when you had the big old fat wallet. It's gonna make that wallet imprint on the back of your pocket right there. It's definitely and again, like I said, when it came to the OnePlus devices, we were complaining about the camera module, and I thought, my argument is that makes the phone unique. When you're looking at it, you know what you're looking at, right?
That's its own marketing. Yeah.
Same thing with a Pixel, right? When you're looking at a Pixel device, you see that bar now, you know it's a 6 or a 7. You can tell it's clearly a Pixel, and I think, and that's why I think with your camera housing, obviously, is really just for the hardware, but I think having a little bit of flair to it, and even if it's a little kind of gaudy, as it were, just to give you some brand identity, I think is a good thing. I don't necessarily, if it can do what it needs to do and also identify your phone as that kind of device, I think it's a win-win.
I agree. I think that's why Apple's so successful. That's basically marketing, keeping the device the same way for a few years. Everyone knows what it is. It's super recognizable.
Yeah,
like design language is definitely marketing, in my opinion.
And this is another thing too. And I can see Jimmy's point too, because I know there's a lot of people who really don't like MIUI. It's not my favorite, but I don't dislike it. I don't.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I don't really know if I have a favorite Android UI. I'll tell you right now, I'm not gonna again. My favorite was Sense. I love Sense from HTC. I don't know what it was about HTC Sense. I don't know. It just was cool. Like I liked having Zoe and I liked having the front-facing speakers. I just liked HTC devices. I thought they did a great job. Their skin of Android I thought was pretty slick.
Yeah, I think MIUI is like kind of underrated. I feel like it's more stable than people think it is, and I'm the type of person that doesn't like really pay attention to like phone fluidity like that either. Like I don't really I like animations and things, but I don't really care like when it's all said and done, as long as it's not any like game breaking bugs like Bluetooth not working or something like that. I don't really care about that. I go by the amount of features that it has, or just like the quality of the features that I have. That's why Motorola has my favorite user interface on any smartphone. The shake to flashlight is super clutch.
Yeah, chop.
Use that and so many times.
Twist, and chop. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love Motorola phones. I would have kept that. I had a stylo. I think which one I have is the Moto G stylus. I think it was the 2021.
Yeah, I had that as well.
And I liked the phone. The only thing I didn't like was the camera was terrible.
The camera was very bad.
And I'm not a big and again, I'm rocking a Duo, so obviously I'm not exactly.
They've improved a lot though, haven't they, Moto?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the newer Motorola's are pretty good. And but yeah, as far as the UI and as far as battery life was incredible. Like I always had 5,000 milliamp. I couldn't kill that thing. I mean, 2 days and I was hitting it. Like watching videos and playing music and browsing internet.
Yeah, battery was crazy on that phone.
I really liked Motorola. I think that's one of the few brands that really gets a lot of undue hate.
Yeah.
Especially now that you don't have LG, right? Everybody always used to kind of dump on LG UX for being, and I did have problems with LG UX. I didn't really like it. Wasn't my favorite, but LG's phones and hardware were second to none. I mean,
for sure. I mean, their software is a little wonky. I didn't like the way that's like one of the few softwares that I didn't like the way it looked. It just looked like overly cartoonish to me, but they were the best value. Like by far, by a lot. Like you could like literally a phone would come out 3 months later, it'll be $500 on eBay. Like that's how bad LG was at marketing. But for techies like us, it was like having like a $500 flagship phone, like with all the specs that the Galaxy S series has for like $1,200. They're selling it for $500 on the used market a few months later. Like it's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Like people think Samsung prices plummet. LG was like
No, LG was
Way
putting
worse.
stuff on sale within like weeks of their launch. That's why if you ever had an LG device, if you're especially gonna pick it up from a carrier or whatever, just give it like 3 months or even 6 months, and you could steal it. You could steal their devices. The LG, I got a V35 for like $120 or something.
Yeah, I believe you 100%.
You know, and I had them all. I had the G8, the G8X, and I had. I thought it was great. Like I had the hand. Dude, I thought it was kind of fun. It was a real good.
Yeah, I was a big V series fan. I had the V20, V30, V40 back to back.
Yeah,
and then I went with the OnePlus 7 Pro right after that, and that's when I really started getting experimental.
So, what's your take on that new?
That was a good phone, though.
With their logo,
Best phone ever.
Terrible, but it's Nokia, and nobody cares anymore.
Nobody cares about Nokia anymore. Like, what do they even make at this point? Like, I know at one point they were like popular with budget devices, but I don't even know what they make at this point anymore.
It's just
the James Bond phone.
Right. It's just such a shame too, because
that was desperation. That was.
I will tell you, as far as the Lumia, this is my hill to die on. But the camera UI with the dials where you bring them out and you can.
Oh yeah.
By far, Lumia. Camera software is by far the best. I love that. It's just, and again, it was on a Windows phone. I understand. I already know I have a soft spot for Windows phone, but I really liked having that where you can kind of like just the dials where you can kind of rotate them and then like just swipe right and just lock it into place. It's a shame because Nokia was really, I mean, it was kind of one of the first. It was the original like smartphone, right? It was the original, cell phone.
Right.
It's just a shame how far that HMD Global's kind of pushed that brand into the tank. It's really
Lenny's got loads of Nokia content on this channel still.
Yeah, it's just
loads.
It really depresses me. Really, ever since they really got when Lumias went to Microsoft, I think it was just like that was the kind of death knell. And HMD does not do a good job at marketing, and also the updates. It's a shame because you had the Nokia PureView, which is a really kind of neat kind of phone, right? And then it did nothing with it. And it's just like,
that's another reason I can't carry a Motorola device every day. Updates are terrible for a lot of these Chinese-based cell phone companies that sell to the US primarily.
Always breaking promises as well. Always breaking promises.
And Nokia probably would have bland popcorn. It looked like caramel, probably tasted like it, but it kind of tasted like sadness and despair. Yeah, that's what it would be like.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Just a popped corn kernel.
It's a lot of kernels. Is there supposed to be this many kernels?
Just half popped.
Yeah, it's like caramel. Or are you sure that's what this is? It doesn't look like it. It sure as hell doesn't taste like it. We have a new logo. It's fine. Yeah, it's okay. Oh yeah, it's just a shame to see, and that's what when I see brands like LG and HTC and really.
I wish LG came back. LG could do it if they came back. LG could do it for sure.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, for sure.
It's just a shame. I think that because that just really. I mean, I just don't want to get to a world where it's just really we don't have Windows Phone anymore. We don't have, any of these other kind of brands. We don't have Lumias. We don't have LGs. We're really running into really having Google, Samsung, and Apple. And it's just like, we
need competition there, don't we? We definitely need it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, and I know it's hard to do, and I realize it's a stigma, but these brands like Oppo and Vivo and Honor, they have to penetrate the U.S. market. And if that means having they've got to. I mean, you've got to do something because there are so many phones that you guys in the UK get lucky. You can go and get yourself an Oppo. You can buy yourself a Vivo right in the store, and it just works. You put your SIM in it, poof, it's done. Us in America, I would love to walk into an AT&T or Verizon or T-Mobile and see an Oppo Find X. I'd be like, it would be great to have a foldable Oppo device and get the Find 2 and just go buy it instead of having a gray market to buy. I understand there's a perception of it's China and it's bad and it's insecure, and I get all that, but man, it really sucks because I think there's a market that can be really served by the Pocos, by the Xiaomis, by the
for sure, especially in the budget
the
category.
Realme, right? Even the Realme, there's one. I mean, I've even gone to stores and seen Alcatel. I mean, who really buys those? Really,
Realme's gone a bit quiet though, isn't it? I've not seen much.
Outside of India, probably.
Well, they just released something like a week or something ago, but I don't think their conferences are as popular as like the other companies. But I think Flossie had something, Realme GT or whatever, with the super fast charging.
Yeah, I don't see much of this. At one point they were marketing more, at least in the UK they were, but it seems to have died off a little bit. Yeah,
and to DJ's point, that was a problem with, and I think that's finally what the marketing or LG, but I think that's finally what Google decided to do. They're finally starting to get commercials out there for the 6, right? You had Pixels like the 1 and the 2 and the 3A, and nobody ever heard of them. And all of a sudden they decided when they got to the 6, they go, we should probably run some ads and tell consumers that we make phones and
Google's going to be
science
the
and stuff like. They finally, it's like who decided? It's like, let's wait till the 6th iteration of this device, then we'll start to market it and actually.
The thing is, though, with their marketing, like Magic Eraser was a big part of it, and now that's available on any device with Google One. Like that seems a bit silly, but I don't know. What do you guys think of that?
Well, it's not visible. Like regular consumers, people who are buying those devices, they probably don't even know that you can.
I agree with that.
I have my Pixel. I can still do my eraser thing, or I can still do this, and then it works for them. I mean, I think there may be some people, but you got a lot of Apple people who don't really know the total capability of the devices they have, like what things they can do, what they can't do. You'll see channels and you'll show Apple users or Android users who are just more regular people just doing things. They'll be like, holy cow, I didn't know my phone could do that. It's like, it's been.
I do that on a daily basis, show people different things.
Hey, Boss Man showed up. Lenny, our man in Amsterdam. I think he was he's in Boston. He was there for a Celtics game or something.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah.
Team Pixel.
Team Pixel. So, and by the way, in case you're here to our shameless plug, go check out the Purposely Pixel YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
Lenny and the crew over there, they do a really great job. And it's not just pixels. Yeah, obviously it's Purposely Pixel, so you would think. But they talk about all this stuff. Julian puts videos out there every once in a while. And he gives himself crap, but they're really pretty good. I mean, for not doing too bad. So check them out.
Cheers,
throw them a sub, throw them a like, and let's get there. Lenny does a great job. He's a really good.
For sure. Awesome channel.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we'll give some love there. If anybody in the channel chat, who probably isn't, but they probably already are, go check them out. They got a good channel over there, and that's our channel sponsor, the Purposely Pixel YouTube channel. Go check them out. Lenny's awesome, good dude. We really love working with him and for him. We really appreciate his support.
Yeah, he's a top guy. Top
he
guy.
Is a top guy. And guess what? Look what I haven't charging it, but guess what I got for my Duo? Check it out.
Yeah, it looks slick.
Yeah.
Where's that from, Sam?
Extremeskins.co.uk. And I bought one for my Flip 4. I paid full retail for it. No, I at the 15% off discount. But they're our channel sponsor. That's okay. I bought it anyway because they've given us free stuff in the past and I decided to pick them up. But great skins, great delivery. Even if you live in the United States, they'll ship it to you. We're not going to mention the other brands because everybody always talks about them. But they're for what they offer and as far as their customer service, their response, and also if you put your skin on wrong, they'll probably flame you a little bit in Twitter. So they'll give you some shit if you screw it up, which is kind of fun.
I mean, it has to be done, doesn't it?
Absolutely,
everybody has to do it.
If
100%.
That's a company that's legit. If their PR department or their company goes, yeah, we send you your free skin and you put it on like you had your eyes closed, man. Are you okay? You sure you're all right there? Yeah, I screw up the PS4 one and they blew me out of the water. I was like, that's fair.
I don't even mess with skins. I just don't have the dexterity or the patience.
They're not too bad to put on, to be fair. They're quite easy. The key is having a hairdryer.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah, for sure.
But absolutely, go check them out. In case you want to spend money on other brands, give them a shot. Even if you're in the United States, and I know that there's other companies that are local, but give them a try. They're a UK company. They're great. They ship out. I mean, I think I ordered mine. I think they had it the next day. I was on a Thursday and they had it out Friday morning. And then poof, it was here. Yeah. And nice. They had like all sorts of wipes and it was all in one nice little do not bend case. They do a great job. Check them out. And they're also very price competitive and they have discounts. If you go check them out, they always
I'll have to check them out for sure.
Yeah. I think on Wednesdays they do buy one, get one half off, I think is what it was.
Dalavon's had a few.
Yeah,
that's what like made me consider them before.
Check them out. They got a lot of cool, and they got the Yakuza, which is a newer kind of one, and I really like it. Now, it's not my style on the Duo because it was mostly white, and I didn't want to kind of keep that profile. I want to have something, but I got that kind of matte, I guess it's matte plum or something, and it's dude, it's great.
The matte ones are good, yeah.
These are slick.
I like the wood effect ones. The wood effect ones are really nice. It's the texture as well.
I'm kind of on the wood ones. I tell you what,
really.
And I'll tell you what ruined it was the Mozo cases for the Lumias. Remember for the 950, they had those real wood back that Mozo replacement. And they were actually pieces of wood. They were like actually wood cases for the back of your Lumia 950 and 950 XL when you could actually remove the back of your phone back in the day, like in 2015.
Back in the day.
And those Mozo cases were awesome. They had leather ones too, but the wood grain ones were premium. And I'm anything that isn't like a real piece of wood, I don't know. I get weird about the color. Like sometimes I like the dark wood grain.
That's understandable.
And then I like the bamboo color, and then I get it weirds me out. So
that's definitely understandable.
And then so yeah, I was gonna say he finds it hard that you would have a problem getting the skin on you with all the talent you have.
That's not software related though. I can do
there you go.
Software related. I can't do a lot.
With, Joe loves my wood.
skins.
There we go.
Lenny, come on, mate. Don't expose me.
And of course, then you've got Aditya.
Wow.
This has turned to the totally wrong direction.
Well, to be fair, I completely walked right into that.
Yeah.
I served it up on a.
It started with PS4 skin, and then it went to wood, and then oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got to put the explicit tag on your videos.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's the profanity and just the fact that Aditya comes in there, and then of course you've got those kind of comments. And to be fair, I kind of just walked right into it. So that was kind of to be fair, Aditya, that's kind of a layup. So it must be an off day for him because that one.
You walked into Lenny's wood.
I just walked into Lenny's wood. That's pretty much what I did. So we're at the hour mark. So Gaylon, please for anybody who's, I'm sure I see like Johan and all the people in the chat, but so your channel, and then also you're still doing your regular YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Gaylon's gadgets, yeah.
And so you have the watch. How you liking the new Galaxy watch so far? I know you were talking about the battery life being really good. So
yeah, I'm loving it so far. Battery life is great. I still gotta take the time to install some apps that I usually do. I've just been too busy, but battery life has been absolutely crazy. The first charge cycle lasted me about 3.5 days, which is kind of insane for like a watch that could do so much.
That's 5 Pro then, right?
Yeah, 5 Pro, 5 Pro. But they say the 5 is getting up there in battery life too, so I would definitely recommend either of them. It's pretty much the same watch. The 5 Pro is just bigger for the most part, but yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I love the design of it. I could wear it with anything. Gonna order some more bands and all of that. Software is super fluid. It does feel smoother than my 4 Classic, and battery life is definitely my favorite thing so far.
Yeah, I noticed you get that different kind of band. Those are kind of like that
band looks slick.
Yeah, that's
I like that.
Yeah, it's the Samsung official leather band. I made a Twitter post today.
I thought I saw it.
Look, yeah.
Well, that's good. And I like about that is that's something you can wear that's regular watch, but you could also wear that with a suit. Like if you
could dress it up. Yeah.
You could dress it up, and you really didn't have to switch it out. Whereas opposed to an Apple Watch, and everybody knows how I feel about that. I think that the regular Apple Watch. If it's a square, Sam doesn't want it. Well, also you can tell it's definitely an Apple Watch, and it just is a fitness. If you put a nice band on it, that's a little bit more classy. You can. I've worked at a place where it's a nice country club, and I've seen people walk in and it's like they have these really nice outfits, and the men are dressed really nice, and she's got this just honking looking Apple Watch on her. I'm like, oh God, you
with like a rubber band,
right? It's like plastic. It's like something you got at Target or something, right? Or like it's just like, God, can you just like switch the band out and get me a little bit more classy? That is a little bit more flashy. But she's wearing this nice cocktail dress and this busted looking Apple Watch. I went, oh God. Anyway, so that's just a person.
Oh yeah, I got a question. It looks like
yeah.
I love music. I listen to music all day, every day. If I could recommend one song or album, I would say Sam Henshaw's latest project. Sam Henshaw is a British UK type R&B singer, so that's what I would suggest. Sam Henshaw's latest project.
Okay, cool, very good. Yeah, I didn't even ask about the music component. Yeah, that was fantastic. Good question. Yeah, I do too. But my music is a little more eclectic. I'm kind of all over the place, so I don't have like the other day. I was at getting a burger and I heard a 311 song from an album I really liked. I hadn't heard in a while, I went home. So I just went home and I loved. Yeah, I'm 311. Also, if Gaylon's from the Urge, like I'm a huge Urge fan. I went to school with Steve and all them. So yeah, so. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna go check that out because I always want to listen to new music and different artists and genres. I don't listen to a lot of R&B, but what I listen to is pretty good. So yeah, here we go. Rock and indie music.
I like indie hip hop, I guess. Not really into rock currently anyway. Yeah, I don't listen to too much indie music. I like a lot of underground soul singers and rappers. I'm really weird with my music. I just prefer hip hop because of the culture for the most part.
It's not weird. It's just a different kind of thing. You're just not mainstream, which is fine. And that's the beauty of the music, right? You can, I know a lot of people who are really into mainstream stuff, and there's other people who are all indie and they mix and dabble and they kind of into. I had a buddy who was really into which is funny because he was into like really hardcore metal. I was like, really?
Yeah.
He didn't seem to be the kind of person. Like one day,
when they like scream and
he was like, it was like, oh, the blurg, the whole thing, and I was like,
yeah,
what is this about? And he's like, hey man. I was like, oh, hey, I'm good. The only thing I don't get down with is like bluegrass music.
Bluegrass.
It just doesn't work for me. It's just not like I've been to folk music and bluegrass concerts. I'm like, it just isn't my thing. But anything else, I'm down with symphonies and hip hop and R&B and metal and just regular rock, alternative, 90s music, 80s. I don't care what it is. I mean,
I like music.
Yeah, I'd listen to darn near anything. Like I love stuff.
I listen to I'm the same.
And same thing, like I'll listen to like instrumental, like Polyphia, and I'll listen to like Animals as Leaders. Like I love that kind of stuff, like jazz kind of music where it doesn't have to. There's no vocal component. That's fine with me. I'm okay with that. Those guys are like Tim Henson. You should check them out. Polyphia, that guy's stupid. Like he's an incredible, and him, and then also
a little bit of jungle and drum and bass.
Oh yeah, I mean, just some of these guys are just incredible. Just in Polyphia, the drummer is out of his fucking mind. Good. It's stupid. Like he is fantastic. And then you got, the other guys over at Animals as Leaders, like you said, there's just so much good music out there. And now that you can get it at your fingertips, like you don't have to go to to your local show, or you can just go like, oh, I want to listen to a new genre of music. Go to your YouTube or your Spotify or Tidal and just explore.
Yeah, especially in St. Louis, you could like literally go out, walk into a club, you hear a completely different genre you never heard of.
Yeah, especially if you know jazz music. There's a place over in Soulard called Hammerstones on Wednesday night. They have like, oh man, it's like jazz music. Oh, it's great.
Have you ever been to that jazz festival that they have? It's like basically, in Soulard.
It's fantastic. Like Hammerstones on a Wednesday night down in Soulard. It's fantastic. If you're into jazz music and stuff, it's some of these people are just super local talent. They're just awesome music.
Yeah, we gotta fly Joe out to St. Louis now. I think he's getting a little jealous.
Yeah, I've got to come out. Yeah, get myself some Chinese, some jazz. Barbecue.
He's gonna get some barbecue. Go to a Cardinal game, and he's gonna come out here. He's gonna start shooting some. He's gonna do some shooting.
All right, he's gonna take like 6 pounds of rice home with him.
Right. Yeah. Like, what am I gonna do with this shit? I can't get this on a plane. Anyway.
Smuggle it home.
Right. Exactly. And like your shoes or something, right? Like,
crunch,
like what is that? Oh, you seem to be a couple inches taller. Oh no, I'm okay. Why are your shoes making this crunchy noise? Kind of keeping them dry. I don't know. My feet sweat. I thought I put rice in them. I don't know. That's crazy. Well, Gaylon, I know it's you have a very busy itinerary. You got your own channel, your own stuff going on. Sunday is a day of rest and relaxation for a lot of people. So
for sure.
we really do appreciate you taking time and coming on the show. It's been an honor and a privilege.
No problem. I had a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys.
And hopefully, hopefully everybody is here who more just about the man behind the tech, not just necessarily the tech you're into. So we really appreciate you.
I like Chinese food, guys. I like
absolutely same ball sandwiches. Get you some. Look it up, Joe. They're good.
Oh, I love Chinese food, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Takeaway, right? So they call it
takeaway. Yeah, takeaway. That's it, mate.
I like that better than carry out. I kind of like takeaway better. Just saying.
Yep.
Well, that's it, Joe. Anything else that we want to touch on? Or are we good here, man?
I mean, there's loads of things I wanted to touch on. I wanted to talk about wearables more, but we ain't got time. Sadly.
Well, I mean, I'm free. If you guys are, I'm cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. We got an extra couple minutes. Hey, the Snyder Cut. Right?
The Snyder Cut,
Snyder Cut podcast edition.
Absolutely.
Nomad Tech Project Snyder Cut.
All right, so wearables, Joe, go do you, boo.
Yeah, when I watch your channel, that's my favorite videos you do when you do wearables.
Yeah, I get that a lot actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you do them really well. What's your favorite one you've had in recent times?
That's tough.
Yeah, you do test a lot of different ones.
It's not even. It's wearables are like such a weird thing. Like if I could make my channel all wearables, I would definitely do it. Like a lot of people think I just like buy a lot, but I buy pretty much like just the major ones. But I'll probably say either the Mi Band 7 or the Amazfit GTR 3 Pro. Those would probably. Yeah,
I got the 6.
yeah,
I don't
no,
have the
Sam
He
has the
loves
6.
that thing. He loves it.
Ever since I had my first Mi Band, I think the Mi Band 5, I've been in love with these things. For me, for the price point and the capability and what it does for me, what I need it for, the Mi Band is by far one of my favorite.
Exactly. And I really wish more people would like recognize functionality of like wearables and fitness trackers and all of the options, because I feel like most people don't even use Apple Watches or Galaxy Watches or Wear OS watches to their full extent. Like I feel like a solid 80% of people will be perfectly fine with a Mi Band or an Amazfit watch or a Fitbit or something like that that doesn't have like the third-party app support, or you're not able to like respond directly to messages on your watch or whatever. I feel like more people definitely need to get hip with that for sure. Well, the average person anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Because, well, same with the phones. They buy the phones they really don't need.
Right.
They don't need like the extra cameras. They don't use them.
And you got Johan's
for example.
question, what's the thickest smartwatch you've ever owned? Like I guess we're talking like the most bulkiest like smartwatch. I think some of the Huawei ones I've seen are pretty bulky.
I haven't touched a Huawei one yet, but I really want to. I really want to, because they just look like real watches.
They look nice. Yeah, they look nice.
Probably this. Yeah, probably this. Let me put it up closer to the camera. Probably that thing.
Yeah, that's pretty healthy.
It's pretty hefty.
How does it sit on the wrist though? Does it sit nice or?
I'd say it's probably average.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not too bad. Yeah.
So I've been interested in the TicWatch, quite a few different ones.
Yeah, the TicWatch is oh no, I take that back. The thickest I've had was the original TicWatch E. That thing was absolutely like fat. Like that was not a TicWatch.
It's like having a garage door opener.
The TicWatch.
That was the TicWatch E. That thing was like literally like that thick. Like that was a thick watch. That was actually my first smartwatch, I think, the TicWatch E. I got that like when I first started researching tech on my own and stuff.
And I agree with Scoop. I think it's form and status, right? They want something that's, I mean, because remember, watches weren't always necessarily functional. They were also status symbol, right? You Rolex, right? You can You buy a Rolex because,
and I think that's why
than a Seiko. No, it's just because it's a Rolex, right?
And so I think that's why the Apple Watch is so popular now, because people know you have an iPhone. People know you're in the Apple ecosystem. People just want to be portrayed a certain way. I think that's why the Apple Watch is so popular, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
I have seen that, but I would not pick that up. I literally just looked at that like 2 days ago. I would not. No, that's too much.
The Huawei watch with built-in earpod.
No, but Huawei makes some beautiful watches, though. I would definitely pick up.
Yeah, it's like I'll give it a try, but it just seems like I don't know. Man.
Talking of Nokia, they had that little device with earbuds in as well. You seen that? A phone with it.
The company actually reached out like 2 weeks ago. It was like one of those Amazon type things where like, hey, we'll send you this. If you pay for it, we'll send the money back. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, like I said. So I'm happy with mine. And I told you, like I said before, if Pixel would have came out with and maybe they will at some point, but if they came out with the Pixel band instead of the Pixel watch, I would be into the band.
Yeah,
100%.
You know, Samsung did, right? Samsung has one. Yeah.
And I had it too before, and I really liked it. But then I found this one because actually I gave that to one of my daughters for sleep tracking and stuff. And then I was like, I'm gonna look for something. And I saw this Mi Band 5. I'm like, this thing's cool. $40. Okay, I'll give it a try.
Oh, and they're just because they've been making it so long, they're like super good now.
Yeah, I mean, I was hooked on them after that, especially since I couldn't have my band, my Microsoft Band 2. I was like, man, I just want something functional. And dude, for $40, the thing is, it's like a home run. I mean, I love it.
I feel like I need to pick one of them up because you rave about it.
I'm telling you.
I tell people
like to use it's like it's almost like, and then for I think 40 to 50 quid, it's crazy. It's actually like insane, like the value that you get with that Mi Band. People like ask me like a lot because I have a primarily smartwatch channel. People ask me a lot in Twitter DMs, what should I pick up? The first thing I asked, do you need apps? That's the first thing I ask, because I will always suggest the Mi Band first, just because of the value and just the overall functionality and the consistency of it. I will always suggest the Mi Band first.
Second, I will go Amazfit, and if they actually like want the most features, I'd probably go Galaxy Watch or something if they have an Android. But I always suggest the Mi Band first.
What are they on now? Mi Band 8 or 9? Is it 9
They're on
now?
7. They're still on 7. They haven't.
They're still on
done an
7.
8 yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I heard rumors though that it must be coming out soon, surely.
Yeah, the only thing I think is missing from the Mi Band is the inbuilt GPS. Like once they add that, like it's a wrap. They kill every other fitness tracker out there for $50. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
they normally do an offer as well when it first comes out, don't they? Like Xiaomi always do really good offers on launch, like 20 quid
like
off.
especially like the Indian market is huge with Xiaomi devices, like especially those Mi Bands. Like if you look at like the Mi Band subreddit right now, it's like absolutely crazy. Like it's wild.
How long's the Mi Band 7 been out though? It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a couple months, probably just less than a year. So yeah, the 8 should be coming out soon. I really hope they do.
Yeah.
They had a 7 Pro. They did have a 7 Pro right after the 7. It's like a little wider display. It kind of looks like like a long smartwatch. It's like rectangle instead of square.
Yeah. And I guess Michael Pepper Tech is in the chat, or friend of the show, fan of the show. Yeah. So one thing that bothered me today was it automatically recognized we were walking, it missed half the track. Yeah. So, and again, that's where I'm saying is like I've never really used a lot of that because I haven't been able to ride a bike. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to once my knee heals, I can actually ride a bike, testing out like the cycling and all the other kinds of things I have with this meet because I've never been able to really test those smart functions. But yeah, I mean, if I can get that to work, it's like here for $50, you get a better experience with tracking and everything else that's more consistent than any other Android.
Yeah, I'm not too particular about that because I know none of these smartwatches are like medical grade, so I'm never really too concerned about the fitness tracking aspect. I do like the auto tracking feature though. I haven't had that problem on my Galaxy watches yet. Like even my 4 Classic, I haven't had an issue like that yet. It does a pretty good job of detecting when I'm like actually walking because I always forget to manually track. So I'd never like remember to manually track. Like I want to do it just for like data, but I'd never remember to.
Yeah, I wouldn't remember. See, if I was serious about tracking, I'd probably get something like a Garmin though.
That's something I would consider too. Like I was just walking through Target with my girlfriend like 2 hours ago, and we were looking at the smartwatch section because you know that I do that every single time I go to Target.
Of course,
and, like one of like the little small Garmins. I think it was the 2S or the 3S, and it was like I think their S variants are like woman sized, so it was like really small and shiny, and it looked really nice. She's like, "Hey, that looks nice," and then she looked at the price. So she's like, "It's $350." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean that's what you get."
You gotta pay to play a little bit sometimes, you know. It's like
you
can get
yeah,
cheap.
Garmin is expensive, but I mean they have the most reliable fitness tracking. So
I think if you're definitely into like reliable fitness tracking, I think Garmin. Yeah, I know you're gonna have to pay to get in there, but I think they're probably in the lead as far as like actual accuracy and tracking ability for fitness.
I'd go Garmin, then Apple, then Fitbit. Yeah, I don't know about Fitbit versus Galaxy right now because I definitely think Galaxy made some leaps and bounds between the 4 and 5. But yeah, I would go Garmin, Apple, then probably Fitbit, then Galaxy, and everything else is right below that. Amazfit is up there too. I put Amazfit right behind Samsung. So yeah,
good bang for your buck then with Amazfit.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. That's why I always suggest it. Like, if you want something to actually, like that's literally like my question. I'm like, if you don't care about like the shape of it, I would suggest the Mi Band. If you want something that actually looks like a watch, go Amazfit for sure.
Yep. So yeah, exactly. If you're looking to give them a try, and then that's the beauty of it. You have so many choices. Again, what fits your lifestyle? Are you more into apps? Are you more into working out? Are you more into fitness? Are you more into sleep tracking? Are you more into whatever? How much money you have to spend, and then then you can kind of play with what works for you. I mean, that's the beauty. I'm glad that at least it seems like in the wearables and tracking, there's a lot of options between iOS.
Oh,
there's a lot of options for you as far as fitness trackers,
like
and bands and full on watches.
Yeah, for me personally, like it's a lot to like think about, but it's not enough to make content on. That's the only reason why I haven't went full smartwatches on my channel.
Yeah.
So I think you could do it. I reckon you could do it.
Well, you could probably leverage it in some.
There's so many like little cheap ones that no one will buy. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I get a lot of different emails and requests like to review those, but I never like follow through because they're always these little sketchy Chinese like type companies. In reality,
you could do like get a load of them and then do like a one-off video with a lot of them in. Just be like, here's some budget ones for you.
It's like,
yeah.
Like watches up arms. Like, are you selling them or are you trying to like test them all out?
That's fair. Put them all on one arm. Yeah.
Opens his coat. He's got a load in as well. Like,
what are you looking for? You looking for garment? Yeah, I can get you cheap garments. Yeah, like
yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, my Facebook Marketplace will be going crazy, man.
I think some of them might surprise you. You never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
Absolutely.
That is also true. You don't know about a product until you actually try it. So
absolutely. Be interesting.
Well, I think we're at 120 now, so I think we at least hit that. But what we'd like to do, Gaylon, is as always, anybody on our show, we'd love to reach out to you and maybe have a follow-up show in a couple of months.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sam, what I think we should do, I think we should have Dalavon and Gaylon on together.
Oh yeah, that would be,
yeah.
If we could,
we'll have both of you guys on ours too.
I think that'd be cool.
Do that one weekend for sure.
Yeah, we can.
You guys usually stream on Sundays, right?
Yeah,
But we usually stream on Saturdays.
We're pretty good about being flexible. I mean, we've had guests that have to do on Saturday.
Oh no, we usually stream on Saturday, so it'll be like the perfect weekend collaboration.
Cool. Absolutely, we'd love to have you on again and talk more about wearables and kind of where the state of the market is. Because as we all know, in the next couple of months, a lot of this stuff can change, and we could be in a whole different kinds of discussion.
Forever changing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Hit up me or Delvina. We'll definitely be down. We're always looking for guests.
Fantastic. Well, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. So Joe and we will again, like I said, when we first tried to wrap it up, I didn't want to make sure I didn't mess up my buddy Joe.
Sorry, man. I had to.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad we talked about the wearables because that's a big.
It's my favorite thing to talk about. No problem.
So we'll have you on again. We'll collaborate. We'll maybe do a Saturday, Sunday kind of thing again. If we could do that, would be fantastic. Having you and Delavana would be awesome. We would really looking forward to that. Enjoy that for sure.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, appreciate your time and appreciate the invite and appreciate you for joining our podcast last night. Nice to meet you, Joe.
Nice to meet you finally.
Match the face with the Twitter page, like
right. He actually puts out some pretty good stuff every once in a while. He's pretty good about that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
not too bad.
Yeah, Joe, I'm trying to be more active on Twitter.
Yeah,
trying to.
And I'm just gonna stay just not as active as I am because I don't.
Well, you're not doing anything at the moment, Sam. You should get on there.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
See you on Twitter.
Come on.
I will get on. I'll try to be a little bit more active. That's something I probably need to work on in the next couple of months. So I promise I'll do that for Joe since he's my mate.
Thanks, man.
I'll try to help him out. So that is our show for Sunday. Again, Sunday, March 5th, 2023. Thanks a lot to have Gaylon on. Joe, appreciate it as always, and ourselves. Hey, take care of yourselves. Enjoy your tech. Hey, find a wearable. Maybe try it
for
out.
Sure.
Check out.
If you're unsure, check out Gaylon's channel.
Yeah, absolutely. He does a lot of the legwork for you and do some research. And we'll be back next Sunday. We don't have a guest necessarily lined up. We'll see what happens. We may just be me and Joe. Who knows?
We don't plan this stuff.
Right. We really appreciate Michael and Aditi and Jimmy and Johan and everybody in the chat who came by. Yeah, and remember, and also, we did test out Opus, and it's pretty slick. So we might actually try that. One of our shows, Joe. We'll give it a try and see.
I think we should.
Yeah, give it a shot. What the heck? It was pretty good. It's in beta, but it was the UI was pretty slick. I did enjoy it. It was pretty nice. So we'll give it a swing. We might decide to go to Opus. Hey, what the hell? Why not?
Why not?
All right.
It's free, so might as well.
It's free, and free is great. We love free.
You had me at free.
Absolutely. So for myself, for Joe, for Gaylon, thanks a lot for joining. Again, remember this will be posted for download. Share it with your friends and family. And again, be excellent to each other. Enjoy your tech, and we'll see you next Sunday. Same bat time, same bat channel for another episode of the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe.
See you guys.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See ya.